Прибути в Україну в 22-му році, коли почалась повномасштабна війна. Саме це зробила ця людина, з якою ми сьогодні поспілкуємось. В березні 22-го року вона перебувала разом з українцями під обстрілом, коли більшість країни намагалася звідси втекти. Thank you for this interview, for your time and for your help. For many foreigners that you did since either crazy or heroic. If you go back to 2022, what was the main reason that made you come here and stay with the people of Kharkiv during their hardest time?
Yeah, thank you for having me today and talking with me. Back in 2022, I obviously didn't plan to stay here as long as I have done. Before in Scotland, I worked in a supermarket. And I remember doing the newspapers that day and the headlines all about the invasion in Ukraine. And I knew at that moment in my heart that I wanted to do something and that it wasn't right what was going to happen here. So my friend from home, he began to collect donations locally, normal things like baby formula, Pampers, basic medicines. And he already made a plan to come over and drive it over himself. And in the beginning, I just helped to collect the donations. But right at the last moment, I decided in my heart that I wanted to go with him and drive the things over myself as well. And I asked my work if I could take just 2 weeks, only 2 weeks, to come and be with the people here. And they agreed because they knew it was important to me. And I came over, I began working here and meeting with the people. Obviously, I fell in love with the people of Ukraine and I got to see firsthand what was going on. And that was it. I came back and I quit my job. I left my house, I sold my car. And I told my family, I'm going, like you can't stop me. And I came back and really decided that this was what I wanted to dedicate my life to.
Coming here from Scotland in the middle of a war was a very brave decision. Did your family and friends try to talk you out of it? What was the hardest thing to explain to them before you left?
I mean, I think at that moment in my life, I felt like I hadn't really done anything that had much purpose, do you know? And so when I was really passionate about this, like coming here and doing the work, I think my family realized in that moment that this was important to me and this was what was going to make me feel like I had some purpose. Obviously, everybody was scared in the beginning because we didn't know what would happen here, what the situation would be like. But of course, they became more and more supportive. My family are one of my biggest supporters that I have.
When foreigners think about Ukraine during the war, they often imagine nothing but ruins. Do you remember the moment when you first saw this pit, the shelling, city workers were still doing the job? People were planting flowers and others were standing in line with the coffee in the morning. What went through your mind?
It's just crazy, really, isn't it? Like I don't know, the Ukrainian people are just so resilient that like you have to be here and be with them to know that about them though, you know, because you don't really see what the Ukrainian heart is like until you're here. And so obviously you think after a night of heavy shelling and businesses are being hit, glasses everywhere in the street, you don't expect someone to come along and just pick up the rubbish on the street. Like it's just blows your mind, but it's one of the amazing things about Ukraine is they just keep going, you know.
What was your first night in Kharkiv, like with the sound of explosion outside? Were you able to sleep at all, or did you just sit in the hallway counting the minutes until morning?
It was naturally terrifying, you know. I still remember the first delivery that I made to Kharkiv. It was to a hospital in the center, the main hospital. And during that day, obviously, Ukraine had done something like taken some territory or hit something on the Russians. So they decided to retaliate the Russians and hit inside of Kharkiv city with artillery. Obviously, while we were at this hospital, they'd hit a supermarket and we were told, like, we can't stand outside, we have to come into the corridor. And this was like everybody. So many people were standing in the corridor, and I was standing across from a policeman there. And it's getting really close to the hospital. Everything is shaking. The doctors are still working in this room, you know, that we're standing. And he just looked at me and he said in English, "First time, huh?" Because I think at that moment it was very clear on my face that this was my first ever experience with this thing. I think I was like pinned against the wall, like gripping onto the wall with my nails, because it was terrifying. And that was, at that moment, that was their reality. But yeah, it's a scary time for the first time.
Okay. Being a volunteer near the front line means constantly calculation risk. Was there even a moment when you came close to being killed?
Yeah.
How did you find the strength to stay after that?
It's hard. It's hard to talk about when I think most people have experiences here where they feel like they're close to death or that they were lucky, you know? A lot of people here have an experience. For me, it was down in Donetsk, in Velika Novosilka. We were there for about 1 week delivering aid parcels into the frontline villages. At that moment, they couldn't have water, medicines, anything. So we came and stayed there. And we were just basically living in an abandoned house, like squatting is what we call it in English. We were squatting in an abandoned house, just on the floor, all of us. But the Russians were pushing in further and further and further, to the point that they were almost at our position. This house that we were at didn't have a bunker, so we asked the neighbour across the road, "Can we use your shelter?" And they said yes. In return, like they were living in complete darkness, no electricity, no nothing. So in return, we made the shelter more comfortable for them, to say thank you for allowing us to stay here. But the military people that we were working, Ukrainian military that we were working with, said, like, you have to choose one person to contact every 24 hours to tell them that you're still alive, because at this moment we're not confident that you're going to make it out of here. It's on encircling us on all positions. Literally the only way that we made it out of there alive was to leave in the middle of the night and as fast as we possibly could. And that's a scary moment to realize that you have to contact someone to say every 24 hours if you're going to be alive. You don't know what's going to come the next day.
Looking around today in 2026, do new foreign volunteers still come to Kharkiv? Or is most of the work now being done by the old guards? The people who arrived in 2022 and simply called walk away.
So you mean the people that have been here since 2020, foreign volunteers, do you mean? Do you think that they've walked away now?
Yeah.
No. Well, actually, yeah. A lot of the organizations obviously have fallen through, or they feel like they've done their part or enough. There is, and actually some of my best friends, you know, which you'll actually have interviews with some of my best friends I've known since 2022. And that's, we all come together and stay together, still work together. But there is a lot of people here that we call originals because we know that they've been here since the beginning. We know that they understand what the work is all about. It's not just coming and going. Like people who choose to live here, obviously we operate in a different way to people who just come for 1 week and go home. We still are doing like a lot of work and yeah.
Volunteers often see that some people have completely disconnected themselves from the war. Does it ever bother you that you, as foreign, are doing everything you can for Kharkiv while some locals live as if there is no war at all?
It can be frustrating, it can be, but at the end of the day everybody deals with the war differently. Some people feel like if they can do normal things during the day and pretend that it's not there, like out of sight, out of mind, maybe they can survive it better than to make their whole lives about what to do for the war, you know? So like, I don't blame them and I don't feel like annoyed at them. Obviously it can be frustrating when you're having to do some work and some people act like they don't care. But you just have to remember that everybody is dealing with this in a different and unique way to themselves.
You have a friend who died in Ukraine.
Yeah.
You can speak about.
Sure. His name was Chris Parry. He was one of the most outgoing, energetic, logistical minds that I've ever met in Ukraine. Sadly, he wanted to do work closer and closer to the zero position. And yeah, because of that, he lost his life. He managed to evacuate and rescue over 400 people from frontline zero positions that were doomed if he didn't go. He did this all by himself, and he risked his life to save those people. Some of those people still speak about Chris to his family today and the work that he did. It's just obviously sad that he gave his life to this. I mean, I've met his family, his mum and dad and his sister and his girlfriend, and they all continue to just do his memory. They do his memory so proud by continuing to advocate for Ukraine, speak about Ukraine, and they know that what Chris gave his life for was so important to him and to the people that he saved. So it's just, yeah, it's another reason to hate the Russians for me. It gives me a personal reason to keep going.
It's personal business for you.
Personal business, very. But Chris is one of many of my friends that have been killed here, many of the people I've met here that have not made it. Some civilians, volunteers, military. There's been so many people that aren't here anymore that I wish were. So there is personal reasons for me to be here and keep fighting.
What do you think in Ukraine, Ukrainian people must remember people like you?
I think so, yeah. It's the biggest sacrifice. It's a big sacrifice because at the end of the day, he wasn't forced to be here. He chose that. And I think it's a very big thing to choose this, you know? Yeah. It's something important to choose to be here.
Have there been moments when corruption, unfair treatment of plain rudeness made you want to buy a ticket back to Edinburgh that same day, return to normal life and forget all, or this like a bad dream?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, one of the biggest discussions amongst foreigners is the corruption in Ukraine, of course. It's one of the biggest discussions, and it's obviously still very existing here, the corruption. But it's not something that we have to deal with actively face-to-face every day. Of course, people are rude. You get rude people everywhere you go, you know, the people that make you want to say, like, oh, fuck you, like, I just want to go home now, like, screw you, you know? But in the same day that you feel like that, say something on the road happens with your car, like your tire pops or something, and you're on the side of the road, oh, I don't know what to do. In the same day that you're like, fuck, I just want to go home, some Ukrainian person will stop and help you with the kindness from their heart, you know? And you think, it reminds you time and time again of why you're here, because these people are just so giving, you know? They always want to help. Just because one rude person, it's not as many as kind people here.
Okay.
Literally.
What do you know about corruption in your country?
Not very much, actually. Not very much. I try not to speak or think too much on the politics of things, just not because it doesn't matter to me. It obviously matters, and I think it's so important for people, young people, to take interest in politics because it's their future, you know? But for me, if I thought too much about it, or I don't know, got stuck on my head too much about it, I don't think I can function on what is actually needed to be done now, you know? I need to just focus on what I want to do now and not think about these assholes higher up.
I'm asking about this because Russian propaganda say Ukraine is so big corruption in Europe. It's true or not?
Of course, but it's propaganda. Like other countries in the West especially are very aware that this is propaganda, you know? Like it's talked about, it's on the news, like people have their own minds to see that this is Russian propaganda. They don't actually believe most of what comes out of Putin's mouth. Do you know what I mean?
So many people thinks it's true.
Yeah, well, they're crazy.
Okay. Let's be honest, Western countries often express deep concern about delay weapons and aid. When you watch British or Western politics from Kharkiv, where missiles are still hiding the city, do you even feel betrayed by your own country?
Naturally, yes, obviously. But like I said before, it's not something actively that I can do anything about it. Do you know, like if they delay the aids and the weapons, what can I do? So I just need to keep focusing on my part. Scotland, I know for sure, and England are massive supporters of Ukraine. You know, like they care, but a lot of it is in smaller ways than what we see in the news. It's organisations that are operating, warehouses that are operating, that are sending trucks to Ukraine. Small people, not the big assholes. It's the small people that really care. So that makes me proud of Scotland, because I know there's so many Scottish organisations that are doing so much for Ukraine.
History context. America says we world's policemen. What do you think about now?
Yeah, but like the Ukraine is the police for the world. Is that what you mean? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, it has to be, because if God forbid Russia wins, do you think that they're going to stop with Ukraine? Absolutely not. Putin's a psychopath, like an actual psychopath. He will then go to Poland, which will go to Germany, Finland as well. Do you know, like he won't stop. So it's important that Ukraine makes the stand for everybody else. They're doing the hardest part of this job and taking the full brunt of this war to protect the rest of the world. Like it's always one step and one very small step away from world war. Like it's so close, a lot closer than people think, you know?
Russian culture in Ukraine, it's mistake?
Russian culture in Ukraine?
I mean music, books.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I believe so. I think it's not really a mistake, more an offense. Do you know? Because if they want to come and completely wipe out Ukrainian culture, why should you have to accept theirs, like in your world? If they want to take away Ukrainian language, Ukrainian currency, Ukrainian passport, Ukrainian identity, the whole identity of Ukrainian people, why should you have to read their books, listen to their music? It should also be banned.
What you can say people who still speak Russian language in Ukraine?
I think it's difficult because I also speak in Russian language in Ukraine, but that's only because I'm in a Kharkiv, which is predominantly Russian speaking. It's so close to the border. Do you know what I mean? So when I came here, I obviously had to learn that in some other cities, this is not normal. In Lviv, for instance, I asked something in Russian in Lviv, and they were like, fuck no, like leave, basically. And sometimes in Kyiv, you can find it as well. Like people are just like, that's not acceptable. In Kharkiv, especially as a foreigner, I think just trying to communicate with somebody is enough for them. Like they're not gonna tell you off.
Volunteering doesn't come with a salary. How have you supported yourself at these years in Kharkiv? Have you had to spend your own savings or sell anything back in Scotland just to keep doing and fuel your volunteers vehicle?
Yeah, of course. In the beginning, I came with my savings. It was all my money in the beginning. And then once I kind of settled into the work and got to know contacts here, other organisations working with them, I realised that it's all kind of based on donors like supporting us. I couldn't do what I do without the incredible support and generosity of our donors. Like one of my favourite ones is Tilehurst Funding for Ukraine. They're amazing. They've helped us with vehicle maintenance, some projects here. Some of my closest friends and family help me out as well here. But it's all about like donations. It's why it's so important to do like media and share on Facebook, things like this. people can donate directly, or like organizations back home, they fundraise and they can send it. So like, it's when people say like, oh, you're so amazing for doing what you do, it's not really me. I'm here, but I couldn't do it without them. So it's the most important message to share to donors, is that it's not possible without your help, you know? Just because you can't be here physically and I can, it doesn't mean that your work is not just as important and amazing. It's the only way we can survive.
War takes away some of the best years of life. You came here in 2022, and how it's in now. You put your career, personal life, and maybe even the chance to start a family on hold.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? Do you ever regret the sacrifice you made?
Never regret it, not once. It's hard because as the years go by, and like you just said before, we survive on donations. It's not like we have our own salary or anything. So as the years go by and you get older, as the war continues, and you don't have any grassroots for yourself, like we don't have I don't have a house, I don't have a salary, I don't have savings or anything that doesn't belong to the work. Do you know what I mean? So in that sense, it's difficult, but I don't regret it. I'm still very much passionate and proud of the work that I'm doing, and I'll continue to do that, even if it is sacrificing what my life could be in some safer, not at war country. But the work is just important. Like, what I do is important, and so it doesn't feel like it's too much of a sacrifice.
Some people talk about adrenaline addiction. Some volunteers says they can no longer return to normal life because it feels empty and boring. Do you even worry that Kharkiv and the war have changed you so much that you might never feel at home everywhere else?
For sure. Absolutely, without a doubt, has changed. I was home recently to get another vehicle. We had to drive another vehicle back from Scotland. So I was at home for some time very recently. And it's even hard to put into words how empty it feels. Obviously, like, you're surrounded by your family who you love, they love you, like, you feel supported. And you do feel safe, but not in the way that you would think. Like, we know that the sky is safe. It takes some time to remember that when you get back, that there's, without bombs, without shaheeds, without FPVs, sometimes you hear a noise which is similar and you think, oh, and then you realize, oh, I'm in Scotland, like, it's not possible, you know? And you just sit and you wonder, like, it feels completely like nothing makes sense anymore. It's a different world now. Nothing like seems like it makes enough sense. Even the most simple tasks, driving to the shop, to the market or something, just feels like...
Okay.
Yeah, well, we can wait until our friend passes. We will get through the interview, we will!
Yeah.
See, like, it's what you're talking about. There's like air alarm, but they're still cleaning the park.
Yeah.
It has to continue though, because like in 2022 in Kharkiv, it didn't look like this. It wasn't like this at all. It was like some ghost town. Nobody was on the street. Very rarely would you see someone just walking along the street unless they were military or police. And in 2022 in Kharkiv was not like this. But slowly I think people are fed up and like, damn you, I'm not going to live like this. If there's going to be a war, then at least have some joy amongst it. So now people are starting to be like, fuck you. Like, I'm just going to live a bit more and just do the normal things. Because can you imagine to live 4 years in just absolute silence, darkness in a shelter? It's just, you can't. You just can't. It would break people's spirit. It would break their morale. And it's just not what Ukrainians do. They don't break the spirit. Yeah.
Okay. In the UK, some people still argue that if Ukraine stopped receiving weapons, there won't be peace. When you see missiles hitting Kharkiv, what would you say to choice people who believe peace should come at any cost, even if it means giving up Ukrainian territory?
You just have to ask people what they would do if it was their choice. Would people like to give up something that they've known their entire lives through generations and generations of people, family? What would they think if it was their house or their life that was on the line? Then it challenges people to think. People can have an opinion about things, but they don't really understand until it's their situation. So you just say to them, like, think about if it was you, what would you do? What would you fight for? Just because you're safe, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't think about the people who aren't here.
How you think this war, how stopping? I mean,
When
how
do I
is-
think it'll stop?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, there has to be some agreement, but I don't think it's fair to give up Donbass or Donetsk or Crimea. Like, it shouldn't. Those are Ukrainian places. If anything, obviously, they should be given back to Ukraine, and Russia should be told and warned not to do this again. Because, I mean, a lot of the other countries who are helping Ukraine, it's kind of like a big standing up to the bully here. Like, they're being warned. Like, if Russia wants to continue, like with NATO, obviously, if they want to go to Poland, then everybody would be at war in NATO. So they're being warned about it. So, yeah.
How you think in Ukraine started free world's war?
It's possible. I mean, it's hard because there has been a lot of accidents from Russia, like when they hit the farm in Poland, and there was the argument that if it was Ukrainian air defense or something, and then they hit the apartment block in Romania, and we're all just waiting to see if anything's going to happen, if there will be any consequences. I think everybody is scared of World War III, so there isn't going to be as many consequences as there should be. Everybody just has to wait and wonder what's going to happen next, really.
Okay. To be honest, do you still have friends or acquaintances in Scotland who believe that both sides are to blame, or that Putin was somehow provoked? Have you cut ties with them, or do you still keep in touch?
Of course, there is people at home that are going to believe that both sides are to blame. You can argue both sides all the time. Everybody can argue. You can probably argue both sides. Do you know? I'm not going to be friends. Yeah, he's coming back. Round two.
Round two.
Yeah, I'm not going to continue to be friends with or associate with people who believe that what is happening here is right.
Scotland has strong religious traditions. Now, when you see missiles hiding apartments, buildings, and children being pulled from the rubble, does it ever shake your faith in God? Has the war changed your beliefs?
Sadly, I can't say that I do believe in God as it is. Like, I never really have done. I believe in... It's hard when people ask me about my beliefs. I'm not really sure what I believe in anymore, or if I ever did believe in something. But of course, it's hard when you see the atrocities or the bad things that happen to children, babies, that have never had a chance at life. Like, why would it make sense that God would let this happen? Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, it hasn't changed my beliefs because I don't believe in God. But it's changed my view on the world, of course, that bad things can happen to good people. It doesn't matter. It can happen at any time. You can't ever predict the future. I mean, I doubt that you predicted that you would be in 4 years of hell caused from Russia. So just you can never know what's going to come. Just
Sometimes people who receive your help say, God help us.
Yeah.
Does that even bother you, knowing that you were the one who risked your life, raised the money and delivered the
No, it never bothers me. Nothing like that bothers me. I respect everybody's beliefs and what they believe in, and if anything, it'll bring a lot of people comfort here to believe that it's out of their hands. So, no, I'm always happy to help people who need help. It's the basic line.
You arrive in a city that was heavily influenced by Russian culture for generation and is how changing rapidly. Have you even had any conflict because our language may be using a Russian word by accident or simply being misunderstood?
I mean, like, yeah, I think I told you about Lviv and Kyiv. Like, if you accidentally use a Russian word, you can get into trouble, or they won't want to serve you or tell you to leave. And I think that's understandable for sure, but I don't think that it should be like, because if you're just trying to communicate, it's maybe better to use Russian than try to speak in English and not understand anything. At least we're trying in some language, because it's hard to learn Ukrainian. It's very hard to learn Russian. It's difficult for English people to pick this language up. So I think as long as you're just trying to communicate and you don't have any bad intentions, it's not like we're trying to speak in Russian, because we're fighting against Russia here too. So it's never meant in a bad way.
Okay. After everything you've been through with the people of Kharkiv, do you feel at least a little bit like a Kharkiv local yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. Obviously, like, I meet a lot of people here. Like, I've become friends. Some people have become family. I have like a goddaughter now that's from Kharkiv. That her mum, like, we worked together. I helped to raise the kid as well, like when she was living together with me. I have a whole Ukrainian Kharkiv family, babulia, that I have. And yeah, like, if all the people, my usual coffee spots, go to get coffee. Oh, hi, how are you? And it's definitely nice to feel like, I feel like Kharkiv is a second home to me, for sure.
Okay. If back in 2022, standing at a train station in Edinburgh, you had to know this war you would last 4 years, that you would see so much suffering and experience so much burnout. Would you still have boarded the trains to Ukraine?
Yeah, I think, yeah. It's difficult because you so much has happened since then. So much. So many people have suffered. A lot of people have lost their lives. A lot of people continue to lose their lives. And so, yeah, I would still board the train, because I'm still proud of the work that I do here, the people that I help here. And I think there's still room for me to be here and help more people. So I'd still go and go and go. And then I'd get on another train. I did, to come back.
Okay. You're still here in 2026. While some parts of the world are already getting tired of hearing about Ukraine, what would you say to people in the UK who think this war is far away and has nothing to do with them?
It does. You're just, I would say to them that it's easy to live in blissful ignorance that it can't happen to you. Because, like I said, anything can change at any time. I think it's important to remember the people who have lost their lives here, because I think they gave their life to something a lot bigger than just Ukraine-Russia war. Ukraine is taking a stand against Russia for everybody. Like, it's to try and, like, make Russia smaller. It's one of the biggest militaries in the world. Do you think that it couldn't come after Scotland? Of course it could. Ukraine is proving how to tackle such a big enemy. I don't know what to call it. Enemy, I think, is the best word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Aggressor.
Aggressor, yeah.
It's
Just
important.
enemy.
So pay attention, everybody. Pay attention to what Ukraine's doing. Like, warfare is completely changed because of this war. Before, there was no FPVs, land drones, nothing like this. It's completely changed the face of warfare. And if you think that that's not important, then I hope that the war doesn't come to your country and you must go to fight because you'll be completely clueless, you know?
Yeah. When this war ends with Ukraine's victory and Kharkiv is finally safe, what is the first things you will do the city just yourself? For yourself?
It's hard. That's such a hard question. I think have like party in like the street with everybody together, you know, like victory, like celebration. But there's not really like much that I can think of to one specific thing. I think like, I don't know, hug everybody that can now, like now you can go and leave the border. Finally, after 4 years of just being stuck here, you can go and live in other country if you wanted to now. I think, yeah, I think just celebrate with everybody. Like just be so happy that finally 4 years of hell for everybody is over.
You come back in Scotland when this happens?
I don't know, because like we said before, again, it feels empty there now. It's always my home. I will always love Scotland and it will always be in my heart and my home. But now I've seen things and done things that I never thought I would. It's hard to just go back there and feel like it was some dream. It never happened. It's like a full circle. And I want to continue helping people. I found a love for helping people. Maybe I can go and help in another country somewhere less fortunate.
Okay. And finally, what would you like to say to Ukrainians who still believe in victory?
Keep going. We've got it. Перемога. Разом перемога. Keep going. Like it's going to happen. It's got to happen. There's no other choice. And if it doesn't, then we fought really hard, and the world now knows who Ukrainian people are and what they believe in, what they stand for, what they fight for. The world now knows that Ukraine is not some small people that can just be wiped. They're strong, brave, resilient people, and they will bring victory for everybody, for sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for speaking with me.